Yeah, and there are
So that would be,
The latest gossip.
typically in October. Yep, and as I recall, last year we did a session at the very late part of December. And then we get into this kind of no man's land this around the first of the year.
good morning, Belle, welcome back.
Technically, the board hasn't been
Giving up vacation. It's been a while, huh? Man.
They're gonna have to start looking around in what, November?
We'll see. Yeah.
So we
I'm not
are
sure what the
appointed for
schedule is.
2 years,
Right.
and so this is our first year,
Mhm.
and then next year we come back, and then, and does it end in April, or when does it end, our term end, at the end of the year?
The calendar year.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we have something going on today. It's O'Connor all day. But we don't have anything in except 2 affidavits that were sent in quite a while back. So we'll give it till 8:45. Those affidavits are for 1:30 telephone conference. So with your permission, I'll reach out at that point and say, are you ready to do this now? And find out how we should proceed.
Yeah. And if in fact we want to do it on the telephone, or really just want to look by affidavit.
Right, it indicates on that affidavit that they want to do the telephone, so. I would certainly have expected something by now. We'll give it till 8:45. I'll make that call then and come and update you on whatever's going on.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Welcome back. I know it sounds sad.
Nothing never changed.
Yeah.
So anyway, you were asking about new board.
Oh, I was, yeah. Don't you start looking in November or something? Because you're supposed to have it by the first, aren't you?
They didn't advertise till January
Yeah,
first on this.
Yeah,
program.
but I heard that was, the rumor was it was late getting started.
well, it was I had given, well, let's see, we needed 3, we needed to replace the position you guys to. I had gotten at least 2 names. And in fact, you were the third that I would have submitted, or that we'd asked, I'd asked you to submit a form. So we got, in a way, caught a little in, I think Mike was they were getting a little antsy that we only had 2 and wanted a third, and so that's why they did the ad in the paper kind of thing, which wasn't bad. So
Joanne and Ron had already been selected.
no,
No,
Oh,
so, and I forget when the ad came out, it was sometime in.
I don't know, because I didn't do
February.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know the day I turned in my papers was the last day to do it.
And Josie, who's the tax liaison, the liaison to the judge. They had several conversations with Judge Watley, saying, hey, we need to get off the dime and blah, blah, blah. Now, as I understand, I don't know exactly which counties she's responsible for, but somebody told me there were 6.
5 that I know of,
Five,
Aransas
okay.
County, San Patricio, B County, and I think Refugio County, and Live Oak, I think.
Gee.
Yeah, so that's a lot of work.
Well, her secretary called me back within, I think, the same week or a couple of days, within 5 days.
Of when you submitted the form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick.
And said, we're setting up appointments. blah, blah, blah. And then the next week, it seemed like that was the appointment.
Go Saturday night on this day and time, I say, I don't know, okay, the judge will be calling.
Well, we have, so that there's the form you guys filled out, and then there's also.
That was a really, very vague.
See, that was.
What makes you qualify? Oh, no.
Live here.
Yeah, I'm like.
It's not really helpful, and that's why I was a little concerned, you know, just wondering how they were gonna make those appointments, and to what extent she was gonna talk to you guys, if at all, because I didn't even know.
Well, I added a letter saying, I want you to know something about me. And
Oh,
a
you-
little bit about my background and what I was looking for and what my goals were and that.
Yeah.
I just filled out the form because I thought they're never gonna call me.
Me too.
Yeah,
And
I
here
mean,
you guys are.
and I had an eye doctor appointment in Corpus, and when she called me, I had just pulled in my driveway, so we spoke on the phone. I was in my car. It was weird how the interview was kind of vague, actually, you know.
Yeah. Well, so they were after her to try and get some appointments made, and even the secretary and chairman have a separate form, a different form that you have to fill out.
Oh, because they did ask on the form if you were interested in being secretary or chairman.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah,
I don't
What
think
is
so.
I think I love that flag.
Yeah, I did too.
So even after you guys were selected, she still hadn't followed up with a letter or any notification about who was gonna be chairman and secretary. So, and it was like we actually had our first meeting, and they got back with her and she sent a letter.
Now, was Kathy secretary last year?
No,
Okay.
no, Robert Dayton, who is, I'm not sure if he's still the president. He was president of the country club HOA. Anyway, he had been on, and I think he's only been on 2 years, maybe 3, probably 2. And he and his wife decided they wanted to do a little traveling.
I hate to interrupt you. Did you open the meeting?
No, I was going to suggest you do that.
Yeah.
Okay, open
Okay. So
Because Scott came in, I know.
Monday, August 8th at 8:33. And we're convening a session of the Aransas County Appraisal Review Board. Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
We do. Okay, good.
I presume Catherine's not here today.
She will be out this morning.
Okay.
She chatted with me or mentioned Friday that she may be late Monday morning. I told her if she's, gets behind the 8 ball with
Just
getting
come in,
rid of her
yeah.
kids and just not worried about the morning at all.
Oh, that's right. She has relatives.
Yeah, she did over the weekend. So anyway, I may reach out if you guys have anybody you think might be interested in doing this. There's at least 2 people that and I didn't follow up with them after the fact. They may be annoyed that they went to the trouble of submitting forms and didn't get selected or something. But there's 2 people that I can reach out to again that to see if they might be interested.
No, I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of, but,
And I don't
Mostly
know-
everybody already has obligations.
There may be one more person that whose name I don't know. I mean, they didn't mention. I thought they said they had a total of 6.
That applied last year.
Yeah,
That's what I had heard,
so
I didn't
3
hear
and then
who
2
you were
others.
talking to. I don't know any, I never heard any of that stuff.
So even having said that, the other challenge, even if we, if she selected things on the first of the year, we can't have hearings until after you've gone through education, the education section.
Yeah, are we gonna have to have continuing
But
education?
because we still have a quorum. Last year you didn't, but this year.
Oh,
Unless you-
thank you. Excuse me.
Well,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Is it because it's a new year? I'm sorry, shut up.
Yeah.
no, I'm trying to think, I don't recall, I don't know if there's anything in the tax code that talks about the requirement for education. But there certainly is from the comptroller's office, on their website, as well as other information they put out, so. And they said that you have to, they have to have completed that education. There's two different forms. One is the new member training, which is a little more comprehensive. The second one is the continuing education returning member.
When is that available that we can take it?
Well,
So get it out of the way.
yeah, that's the problem, because they've not been real timely in years past.
They meaning the state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the comptroller's office, they're the ones that produce that stuff.
Yeah.
And the best you can do is look at on their website, when they talk about the training, they have a couple of face-to-face sessions they run in different parts of the state. They do it in different places. And then they also have Zoom sessions. And then lastly is that just the online stuff, take it online. So I didn't expect anything to be available at least until right before the first face-to-face session, which is kind of the way it worked out this year.
Mhm.
It was like a week or a little more than a week before that first face-to-face session that day.
Did you have to go through a different training with the chairman?
Oh, no,
You
no.
just go through the book, read the book, and you do
You
a good job.
interpreted well. You organized too. I think that was impressive. Yeah.
Well, you
He's
do a good
computer
job.
savvy too.
Well,
You better be, he's an engineer.
yeah, of course, I know Charlie Powers real well. I worked for Charlie for 12 years at IBM, which is unheard of anyway, because most people at IBM, if you work for the same person for more than a year, that's an oddity. But, and then he retired in '99, and they moved to Honduras, lived
Wow.
in Rotan for almost 10 years, nine plus years. And then when they wanted to move back, because they were getting older and health concerns, and not that they really had any issues per se, but if you're going to develop any health problems, that's not the place to have to deal with it. And then the real motivating event that caused them to move back was Honduras is weird. They have a number of strange laws relative to labor. And they have this thing called prestaciones, where if you hire somebody for a day, you are obligated to pay them unemployment and like the equivalent of pension and stuff like that. And that's just an example of the weird labor practices they have in Honduras. The nationally owned telephone system. There were private companies that started to come in and provide telephone service and internet and that kind of stuff. And Charlie got hooked up with a company that was providing telephone service and internet on Rotan. And the national telephone company didn't like that.
Mm.
And they were having a, Charlie was at a board meeting on the mainland. And they came in and raided the board meeting and arrested all the board members, confiscated their equipment and stuff like that. I mean, it was a mess. So the last I heard, I hadn't heard of it change, but, you know, he was even on, eventually put on an Interpol. No
Watch
fly,
list?
yeah, watch list.
No kidding.
It's totally nuts.
Oh, gee.
So that was probably the motivating factor really down
Yeah,
to leave.
you know, there's a lot wrong with the United States, but it's the best place to
Yeah, it
live.
still has,
It's, yeah,
and it's always better than other places.
oh, yeah.
So anyway, Charlie had been on the ARB for a number of years, and last year he asked me if I would come on. They actually had two people that left the board during the middle of the season. One of them moved out of the county,
Hmm.
and who else? There was another person. I forget the reason why. Anyway, so I came on last year. And the whole thing of being chairman was kind of like,
There's nobody else.
you know, it's gonna be. Right? So it's interesting. I find it interesting. It has its moments.
If I can ask a question, you said there were at least usually two sessions that were open to the public or conference kinds of things versus doing it online or
Are you talking about the education? Yes,
Do those come out with the state controller's office too?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
Would they be listed on their website maybe with a date? I mean.
yeah, date and location and that kind of thing. At least it was last.
But even for the online stuff,
Yeah.
is it, if it's available?
Yeah, they, how did you guys get notified of the online? Did you get an email?
We got an email from
Here or from the state?
the
From
Val. Then
Did we get one from this thing? I don't remember when.
possibly, but I know we got one from Val.
Yeah.
I've got them all saved.
Yeah.
I can check back.
I
I was just thinking, start checking on that around
Yeah,
January and get that knocked out.
Yeah, and also it might be time to go someplace. What an excuse.
yeah. I think last year it was in Amarillo and someplace else, maybe West Texas or.
Amarillo.
Well, not my biggest choice, but
Yeah, it's fun.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago, I know they did it in Victoria. And a bunch of them that were here, that were on the board at the time,
Mhm.
went up there for that session. And 2 years ago, the actual online session was just a playback of the face-to-face meeting.
yeah, and that's what it looked like this
Yeah,
time.
well, it may have been. Of course, I don't know yeah, in my case, I just went through the returning, the continuing education stuff, and that was not a playback of the face-to-face session. Now, the one you guys took may have been.
I did the online, I had the book, I had the book about a week before the session.
Yeah. It was okay. It was, maybe in person it will be less boring.
So anyway, we have to have that completed before we have hearings. But I'm pretty sure that, I'm pretty sure that there's not the same requirement for just having regular, ARB sessions to deal with administrative stuff. And the first session or two that you run is generally just administrative, and catching up with chief putting motions and that kind of thing.
Cause you really can't start till after the date of requirements.
True. There are a handful of hearings that are the 25D type of hearings for late protest kind of things. And the first couple I know that we did this year were that seemed like a nice article that way.
So basically from January 1st until we've done the updates, we're not official anymore.
As far as I know, you don't have to, and that was another thing that got weird with the judge. Since you're selected for a 2-year term, you don't have to reapply.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when she was first starting last year, it was kind of, well, we're going to do it this way, and then later on, a day later, we're not, and that kind of thing. So there was some vacillation with that, and at first, she said that she wanted everybody to reapply, and then they came back and said, no, they've decided that that's not necessary.
Well, if you're appointed for 2 years,
Shouldn't have to,
shouldn't have to,
right?
like, should, could, would.
Yeah. And
It is the state, so.
it is a judge.
I think,
So-
yeah,
so
well,
argue-
She said a couple of times to me, it is the state.
Yeah.
Like she was frustrated too.
Yeah, because they added that responsibility to her position.
Yeah,
Like
like
to-
she needs
Yeah.
more stuff to do.
And she really had short time limits to get it done.
Well,
And
yeah, again, I don't know when she really knew or accepted the fact that she had this new responsibility.
Yeah, I think it was current, it's just like, okay, they're throwing this on me,
Yeah, so it came out,
yeah.
I think the end of the fall, I forget when this legislature finally, closed down their session.
Mm.
But it was, September, maybe even October, that they finally completed their session, and those new requirements, when would go into effect. Don't know if she recognized that or whatever. Plus, so on the one hand, I could say, well, yeah, it was a new thing for her to do, and they weren't quite sure how they're going to do it, and it's still getting their arms around the process, and stuff like that. I'm in addition to the fact that she had six counties to deal with. 5.
More important things like felony cases and.
Well, we're easy. I think
Yeah.
we're easy. You look at San Patricio or Oasis, and I don't know how many people are on their ARB. It's probably close to at least 20.
oh, gee.
San Patricio?
I'm
Really?
wouldn't be surprised if it is,
Yeah, well, it is a big.
Well, San Pat, maybe not. Oasis, most likely.
New Oasis, yeah.
So, and then you were talking about the application for the chairman and secretary. And when I was talking to these other ARB chairs about Judy Hargrove, this one guy, he was down in the valley somewhere, or down in West Texas maybe, and out by Lakey, I think, is where he was from. And And he was, he didn't even apply. They just appointed him.
Oh, God.
This is, you're it, kind of thing. So, some of these smaller counties are a little more challenging to deal with getting people involved. And-
Yeah, they don't want to take that, have the hassle of doing that.
And a lot
And
of,
they don't understand it. I mean, I honestly, you know, my reason for applying was because of the previous year. I just thought, wow, I'd like to see how this works. I have some free time. Anyway,
well, I'm guessing we're not gonna be doing much this morning unless I see you walking into the
8:51.
room.
Don't know. You're stuck.
That means.
Oh,
Reality of, yes.
All right.
So we're going to do 2 by telephone. Mr. Bach said he is ready and able to do this, so.
is this the 130?
Yes, these are both on the 1:30 docket.
So you have no 8:30?
That we didn't get any affidavits in for the rest of the, for the whole day.
Okay,
And I'm sure this will be an issue in the future. I don't know where the disconnect was or what happened. Anyway, these were 2 accounts that we had affidavit for.
1:30.
Yeah, 1:30. It's cases 1706 and 1797.
It's page 10 at the top. And what's the other one?
The one right below it, 1797. So all you'll need is page 10 out of there. And I don't know if you want to sign in for both at the same time
if
or,
it's the same person, we can do that.
well, it's O'Connor is the, but it's not the same.
Okay, yeah, we can still do
Okay.
it. Okay.
I don't have them together, but I'll just give you both.
Yeah, and that's fine too, we can do with that. And I guess Kathy's out this morning, so Ron, if you're okay with doing
Sure.
the telephone thing.
Yeah.
On the
did I-
back of that, see the.
Here's the number at the bottom.
All right. Same person that we're calling for both of them. so both of them.
Right, Peter Bach is the O'Connor agent that you'll be speaking with. I had everybody rounded up. Let's see what happened.
Morning. Morning.
On page 10, Scott, these 2.
Oh, okay.
Time, 1:30.
Yeah.
John, which one we're doing first?
Don't move yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest we do the 17,708. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm ready. You guys are ready?
Sure. You ready to make a call?
I think so.
Peter. Hi, Peter, this is the appraisal review board calling for your hearing. Yes, sir. Stand by just a moment, please. Okay.
Good morning, Peter. I have some administrative stuff I'm gonna run through. And then we'll get into the specifics of your hearing. We're commencing two hearings. I'll announce each one as we go into them, but we're gonna sign in for both of them at once. This hearing is being recorded and streamed live on YouTube, and we'll verify what's under protest.
Market and appraisal, Q1, Q2.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then that's on 17,708. 66545 has quite a few checks. 1, 2, 5, 6, and 11.
Okay, the affidavit only has 2 and the protest letter. Okay, Peter, on the account 66545, there was a protest letter that was submitted that called out the count or counts that were under protest. You also included in that letter, in addition to value, market value and equity level, denial, there may be a denial.
Okay.
Are any of those other values or any of these other protest reasons going to apply in that hearing? Or is it just market and equity?
Yeah, it's just market equity, O'Connor, whenever they send the. Protest.
I understand. Sure, I understand.
Okay.
And we just need to verify, make sure that we've covered all the bases here. Okay, good. Thank you. So we have the appraisal review board that will be hearing the protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience, and the survey may be completed using the survey form, which will be included in the determination package, which we mailed after this hearing. Survey is entirely voluntary. However, we always appreciate any feedback that you may wish to offer. You also have the right to appeal our decision, and appeal information is included in the package that will be mailed to you to document our determination. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material and evidence that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So we have some evidence from you on both of these cases. I assume that everything that you intend to reference has been submitted up to this point.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F relating to case numbers 2022-1706 and 2022-1707 1797. Give me a second, I'll get this over to you guys. Okay.
Okay, I, Joanne Ferguson, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66 related to case 2022-1706 and 1797.
I, Ronald Kennedy, solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66 F related to case ID 2022-1706 and 1797.
I, Peggy Bird, do solemnly swear that I'm not communicating with another person in violation of tax code section 21.66 F. Case ID number 2022-1706 and 1797.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. So I'm assuming that, Peter, you're going to be considered under oath as we have a signed and notarized affidavit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal of the board for the Rankin County appraisal is true and correct, and this is for case 1706 and something else, 1797.
Peter, I need to ask if you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraiser Licensing and Certification Board.
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if you have handy the one-page chart, which is labeled hearing procedure time. It's broken into.
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay, great. That's how we're going to run the hearing today. Takes one of two forms. Either you can present first or the appraisal district can present first. You both have equal, excuse me, equal amounts of time, regardless of who goes first, but you get to choose who is going to go first.
Okay, I can go first.
Okay, so we're going to commence a hearing. First one we'll do is case number 2022-1706, which is account number 17708, which is 907 East Market Street in Rockport.
All right, Peter, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, great. One moment, I'm pulling up the county's evidence as well. Okay, so this account, we did submit a comparable chart. This compared to other buildings with the same land use code. For this one, I believe this is it's like a small little motel, exterior corridor, you know, four-room little motel. It's next to the Spanky's liquor store off East Market Street. And so on our analysis, what we do is we try to compare the same class properties within around the same year build and try to get as close to square footage as possible. So if everyone can see the sheet that I submitted, it says a random commercial assessment comparable data on the top. You can see that I've got 5 different comparable properties. And these all have the same land use code as the subject. I believe they have it as warehouse, WH. So you can all see that they all have that warehouse. All of these are assessed lower than the subject, and they're all built from 2014 to 2020. And the square footage of the subject is 3,796. And all these other ones range from about 2,000 to 4,000, 500, 5,900, 40,000. So I'm close within that same square footage, and all the same year build. You know, our subject is 20, it says 2020. So these are all close to the subject. So with the year build, you know, I can't tell if it is going to be, when I'm looking at it on the map, you know, I couldn't tell which building this is. So that 2020 may be the effective year, because these, you know, they're often not built in 2020, but they may have been renovated. So that's the effective year that they have it. But, you know, our subject is at $74.18 per square foot. And all five of these are below, so they have $50 and then range to $57.25. So we simply take the median of these five comparables and we apply it to the subject. And that gives us an adjusted market value of $362,202. Whereas the notice value this year is at $446,000. It's not big.
He's on a different account.
Yeah, Peter, let me interrupt you for a minute.
Mhm.
Oh, I got the wrong one up.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and we may need to kind of start over, because I've been looking at the evidence and
I saw a single family, not a.
yeah,
Yeah.
so.
You're
account-
right. That one, that's six, yeah, that's 66545. Okay, sorry about that. These were planned for 130, so I'm just kind of trying to get to this as quick as possible and pull up everything. So,
All right, I've restarted the timer. You have 5 minutes.
okay, thank you. It shouldn't take long. So this one is, this is off, B Tree Circle.
Still the wrong one.
And it is,
B Tree Circle is the 66545 account.
okay,
And
okay, sorry. So this is the 907 Rockport.
Yes.
yeah, 907 East Market Street.
Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, the comparables that for this one, I was reading up the incorrect one. This one is showing, only 3 comparables built in 1965. Okay, that makes much more sense. You know, looking at the pictures, even with the renovations, I didn't see that it was a 2020 build. So this one is, let's see, one moment. So yeah, it did see a big increase. 2021 was valued at 143,000. This year's at 296. And when we were looking at the same comparables, it's the same approach as that previous one. I'm trying to get in the same year built and the same square footage. This was a 1965 build, 2,600 square feet at $89.86 per square foot. Found 3 comparables with the same land use code and within the same year built. This is, and we apply the median to the subject using these 3 comparables. They all have a lower price per square foot. And when we apply this median to the price to the subject, we're at $211,657. Whereas this year, notice that 296. So we're coming in a bit slightly lower than the notice. There is still an increase in last year's value. Last year is hard to get to that, but the improvements were adjusted quite high. It went from 83,000 to 236. I'm not sure if there was any renovations done, so I'm not quite sure why the improvements had such a big increase. But comparing to these 3 comps that we have, our opinion value is $211,657. That's all.
Okay. That's all you have?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ray, you have 7 minutes.
Yeah, so the improvement increase that we made on this particular property has to do with its listing data. It's currently listed. Listings on the internet, we can see changes that we didn't know about. We currently have a value of $296,000 on this property. If you look at our property card, you'll notice we have a physical adjustment in this account. So we're further depreciating it for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but we are doing that. We have 298. It's listed for 495.
Is that right?
So if someone paid 80% of list, we would still be $100,000 off of it. as far as something that I haven't looked at this evidence before, I do want to see, Scott, if you'll pull Picto up, I'm just curious in what we're comparing here on on O'Connor's, Picto, Scott.
Yeah, just looking.
Okay, I just want to see where these comps are, because I don't know. I think I know where I know where the streets are. I don't know exactly what we're looking at here. It would help me. This is a motel type property. There's I don't know, maybe a half a dozen, 6 or 8 rooms or something like that on this property. Is Victor not working, Scott?
It is, it's just
Oh.
coming up. All right, what prop ID do you want to see?
So 14708 is one of their comps. I just want to see what we're comparing it to. Okay. That's the one on the, go ahead and zoom out, Scott, please. I just want to see, that's the one on the end of Walker. Okay. And then there is 52770. This is on Broadway.
Yeah.
Okay, and 24221.
That's on the other.
That's
Fulton?
no, that's a Little Bay. That's that beef jerky store. They used to sell beef jerky and outdoor furniture. They just recently sold. So Sonic is right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
is
nice.
property. You can put the subject property up, Scott, 17708. I just wanted to see those. I was not sure what the comparison was made to. Yeah. Okay. So in our evidence, we did it a little different. This is an odd property. We just compared it to homes. That's what we did. We just said, you know what, this is what we did. We chose not to do an income analysis on it. So we've got some residential cells in the area, all in the South Rockport or South Central Rockport area, showing a value of 287. So it shows that we're high on the property. We have a notice value of 296, and our median value when using 4 local sales comes out to 287, and our equity comes out to 298. So the appraisal district's opinion is 287. That's all I have.
Okay. Peter, you have 2 minutes, cross-examine.
Okay. Yeah, this is an income producing property, so I think we did try to reach out for the financials to try to run an income approach, but we were unable to get those from the owner. So, we're having to just rely on, comparable approach based on price per square foot of same class properties. And unfortunately, we're only able to find 3 that kind of fit within that range, the year built and the square footage. But I think, with the district making an adjustment based off their sales, I think that's fair. So I don't really have anything to add. Thank you.
All right. The district have 2 minutes.
Yeah, so like in closing and everything, we're at 287.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Peter, you have 1 minute for closing.
I don't have anything further. That's fine.
Okay. ARB now has 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm okay with 287.
That's where I'm at.
Shall I make a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion in reference to account number 17708. After presentation of evidence from the district and the owner's agent, it is the opinion of the ARB after addressing Q1 and Q2 that the value of this account be reduced from 296,050 to $287,000.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, 287 it is. That closes that hearing. We're commencing the hearing on case ID 2022-1797, account number 66545. Peter, we can rewind the tape if you'd like, or I think you want to go first?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go first.
Okay. All right.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, again, I'd like to apologize for the confusion this morning. So this is the first account I have done this morning. I wasn't expecting to do them right now, so I apologize. Bear with me.
You're okay.
So this one is yes, the warehouse that's in Bee Tree Circle. And this one we were able to find some fairly good comparables. Because this is a warehouse, they have it labeled as a warehouse. I was able to find 5 other ones, all within the same year and that same square footage. They say this is a 2021 bill on the CAD website. Last year they had the improvement at 165,000. This year they jumped up to 281. So I'm curious to find out as to why the improvements jumped so high. Land value stayed the same. We're not disputing the land. But based on our analysis, when we use the median of these 5 comparables, we're showing $362,202. So that's close to last year's value. Last year was at 331,000. So it's still an increase from last year, but it's not quite as high as this year. So that's all I have. I'll defer to the district.
All right. Great, 5 minutes.
Hey, Scott, go ahead and let's look at the card, 66545. Let's look at the 21 card. Try to answer the change question. I don't know the answer to it offhand. So is that 21 set? Oh, it's 22.
It's 22. sorry.
Okay, that's all right. You got time. This is on Bee Tree Circle, everybody. So this is in Lamar.
And this is a warehouse?
No, I think.
There's a house on
There's a
it.
house on
And
there.
a metal building.
Yeah.
So there's a house here and then the metal building at 1,600 square feet and then around a 2,200 square foot house. So is it 21 set?
It is.
Is there another card? Is there a next page or is there anything? There you go. So in 21, this is what I was hoping we would see. In 21, the house was half complete. So the large increase has to do with the house being complete, which is, it's a lot of half. It's a lot of money. So there was a large increase from 1 year to the next. But it's mostly, go ahead and go back to our evidence, Scott. Something you'll notice, and you guys, after doing this for this whole summer, are used to this now. We're not adjusting here. This is one of those areas where we don't have an adjustment yet. So the number is what the number is. There's not a market adjustment going on here. This is just us adding in from 50 to 100%. This is an expensive area. So like when you go to the land, Scott, and you'll see something here, it's $55,000 per acre. So that's actually quite a bit of value. Bee Tree Circle is, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, Bee Tree Circle is very expensive to get into. So that's the reason for the change. When you look at our sales grid, you'll see that we get to 455. And you'll see on market and on equity, we get to 487. We don't have a big reason to believe that we're that we're messing up on this value. And the increase was, the house is complete. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, could you pick those so we can get an idea?
Yeah,
of where
yeah. Picked up this place stuff.
And back up on it, because I'm lost,
Yeah.
sorry.
This is a really cool part of our county, actually, because it's very private. That's why most people don't even know what it is, but, Scott, will you take the parcels off for a second? Sure. If you go to layer, yeah. It's just too cloudy. Yeah. So, this is leaving town on 35. And this is Bee Tree Circle, so that's Big Tree. And there's Bee Tree Circle, and it's,
I know what it
it's
is.
this pretty cool place out in Lamar. Everybody owns, I think, at least 3 acres or an acre and a half. And, it's real private, most people don't, you can't, we don't drive down driveways over here, in other words. We don't go and snoop around, it doesn't have that kind of vibe. So that's Bee Tree Circle. We don't get a lot of protests from there, but we got one today. And that's it. That's all I have. All right.
All right, Peter, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2-minute rebuttal.
Okay, thank you. So the house is, so I believe I just got 2020. I'm looking at the property card, so that's the number 2 on the improvement, correct? Residential,
That would be correct.
Yeah.
The 5 FP.
okay. Going through everything. I wasn't aware of the house, just being completed. I thought it was already finished, last year whenever they went out the first time, for 2021. We're really, on our analysis, we're really just comparing that metal building, that warehouse they have, and comparing it to other, metal warehouse buildings within the county close to the subject. So, having that, this is also, a residential, this is kind of a strange account. It's also, it could be considered a residential account. But they have it as, I believe, commercial because it has that warehouse. So, this one, I don't know, I don't really have a strong rebuttal because I needed to do some more research on, the house and not just the warehouse. So, I don't really have anything to add. But just that, our community value comparing the other warehouses is at 362,000. That's all.
All right. The district has 2 minutes.
Yeah, we have it as residential. It's an A1, that's a state code for residential. We also have a previous state code of A5, which is miscellaneous. Those don't have anything to do with value, that we're required by the state to code things. If it was commercial, there would be an F, not an A. For some reason with the state, F is for C for commercial and A is for R for residential. But the reality is when you have this piece of land, if you have a piece of land like this and you don't have a house on it, that's the best thing on the land. And it's the value driver as far as improvements. What can you do with that? When you add that, you comp to that. That's the value driver now. And this is now officially a nice garage. So that's a nice house, that's a nice garage. That's it. So we think our value's good.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done.
Peter, you have 1 minute. Closing. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add. And on our system, looks like we have it as commercial. I usually don't do residential accounts, so it's a unique property and it sounds like it's a nice area as well. But yeah, with I don't have any data on the actual home, so I'm just looking at that warehouse really, so, nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. You got one minute.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right. The ARB now has 5 minutes.
I'm good with the value that the district has.
That's all right.
Be completed
Everybody
and all.
agrees.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion concerning account number 66545. We addressed Q1 and Q2, the other two were not addressed. It is the opinion of the ARB that the value on this account remain the same at 446,580.
I'll second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, remains the same, 4.658. Okay, Peter, I think we're all wrapped up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Peter.
lot.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right,
All righty then. So,
looks like
might be all over
for 10 o'clock.
Another day.
Oh, there's someone out there.
there. Maybe for the 10.
Yeah.
It's all O'Connor today.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Since we haven't done anything. Yeah. They're cogitating. Uh-oh.
Well, I love cogitating.
Yeah, she's Val talking Mike to see there may be a call. Something got haywire on her, so
Mm,
the fact that they didn't submit anything is like. So.
Have fun.
Oh, yeah.
mm.
I have the door handle. Iverside. I noticed over the last couple of weeks, it's getting kind of loose, and so now I can't open the door from inside.
Oh, God.
Something loose, you know.
Need not time for a.
Is the electric
new
block
truck.
over?
Yeah,
Okay.
everything works okay.
So you have to reach what's. Was that a forward?
Yes.
You know what I wish they would do on cars? My husband had a terrible habit of not putting on his seatbelt when he gets in. It's the first thing I do when I get in. And so the ding, 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 ding. Driving down the road. Do you hear that?
Yeah, never got the ticket then.
Oh, yeah.
He would stop that.
And I said, so what I wish they would do is, you know how when a person gets a DWI and they have to blow into it before they can start. I wish what they would do is before you can start your engine, you have to have your seatbelt.
They could do that real easy.
They really
Or,
could.
or before you put it into gear.
Or before you put it in.
Yeah, that would be better.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
You won't go into gear. So, I'm going to.
Like you
Send
used
that
to
in
have
with
to
an
have,
idea.
yeah,
Maybe
you used
you
to,
Maybe you get $200.
but you used to have your foot on the brake before you could get it into gear.
You
Yeah,
still
you
do.
still do.
You still do? Oh, it's such
Still
a
do.
habit, I'm not even thinking about it.
I know.
And if you push the button start, you gotta have your foot on the brake.
Right. And for the longest time, I didn't realize, because, I have a key usually, right? I'm like, why can't I put these windows down? So I'd start my car. And then I'd put the window down, but I realized, or I read in the manual, which. Finally, after 2 years, you can do a double, press your start button twice without putting your foot on the accelerator, on the brake, and then you can go over the window. And I'm like, why didn't I know this before? And just like the trunk, I didn't realize that you have a button under the trunk. My daughter was visiting one day and she said, "Would you open the trunk, Mom?" So I'd go back in the car and I'd open the trunk and she said, "Well, you have a button here, just put it on this button." I went, "Oh, no." And so I decided maybe I need to read this manual.
Well, I remember reading the thing,
You supposed to read that?
yeah,
I know.
it was just things you should know but don't know.
Right.
It talked about the 9 or 10 filters you have in your house. Did you know your dishwasher has a filter in it?
I don't think that.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah, I
that.
didn't know that
I
one.
didn't know that.
Got a brand new and 10 years old, never been.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never cleaned out the filter, but then I sort of rinse and wash my dishes before I put them in.
Yeah,
I only wash once a week with the dishwasher.
you should run it once a week to do all the.
Yeah, the
Yes,
parts and the
and
rubbers and
everything.
everything, yeah, and then.
Yeah, I decided not to put one in. Just 2 of us, so. But then when you do have company over.
It's a
right.
But the other thing I didn't know was that, that little gas thing that is the pump on your thing, it has an arrow on one side and that tells you which side your place to put in gas is.
Oh, that I knew, yeah. no,
Yeah, that one I didn't know.
I realized that one, yeah.
And especially when you rent cars, it's really a pain.
That's really what they were put in there for.
Yeah, because I used to pull in and go over to the side and get out and see where it was, then go back.
Mhm. I remember when seatbelts first came out. You used to be able to hook them behind you. So, people were opposed to all of those things, but.
They used to have the same ding ding on the seat belts as we had on our drip IV pumps when the pumps first came out. It was the same one, so we were ignoring.
Oh, my gosh.
So they came in and changed the ringer
Yeah.
because.
Well, mine is like, it goes ding, 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 and then if you don't do it, it goes ding, 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 ding.
No, mine just was louder and louder.
Oh, mine goes slower and then it just, like. It should have, hey, you put your seatbelt on. So I don't know why I thought about that. You were even talking about seatbelts. So who are these people, do you know?
No, I don't.
But it's just O'Connor all day, he said,
That's
so
what they mentioned now.
maybe they're. Did anybody bring donuts today or
I had not got there.
kolaches?
They filled our candy bowl, which you.
They have a little mint in there.
I don't see any,
Somebody likes the mints.
they stay in that bowl on the table. No.
Do you know where the candy's hidden?
No,
It's this room next door. There's a little plastic file case.
where we keep the chargers or something.
Yeah, it's the bottom drawer. So, because I put some in last week. Yeah, I put some in last week. that I had.
I just,
The
something
mints.
about those chocolate and mint.
Yeah, the York.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
chocolate.
that was what I brought in last week. So,
I like it.
and they didn't say they liked those. They were upset because I didn't bring any peanut
Peanut
butter.
butter, yeah. Maybe they don't have as many of those in the mixture.
Or they just want the peanut butter.
This one.
But then there've been so many recalls on peanut butter, I wouldn't trust it.
Well, and a lot of people are allergic to it, really severely allergic. I know Landon can't, he goes to Cal Allen School and they can't, bring peanut butter and jellies in their kids to school. For fear of, like, kid, maybe, oh, I want to trade, and then they go into anaphylactic shock.
I just can't understand how we're becoming allergic to all this stuff. That the allergies have not been there before. What's going on?
It is kind of weird.
Something.
This kid, falling and hurting myself and spraining an ankle or something, just kind of like a bait man.
Hop up
Put
and
some
keep
dirt
going.
on it,
Yeah, hop up and keep going. And
Wrap it with something. Put some salt, wrap it, and of course, as I get older, arthritis sets in and you go, wow.
yeah, but nowadays, anything the kid does is to the doctor or the ER.
Exactly. My granddaughter was running fever. And they took her in. She's 20, 21, not 20. And they, of course, did the COVID test. It wasn't COVID. And they just let it run its course, and her fever just wouldn't go away. And so they did blood work, and there's a week went by before they put her on antibiotics. And now she's probably had a strep throat or something. And I'm thinking, man, when I went to the doctor, and he had a fever, bam, penicillin shot, knocked it out right away, Now they have to run all kind of tests, see what it is. Because I guess antibiotics, you develop a immunity to them after a while.
Resistance, yeah.
Resistance, rather.
That's more like when you really take them off or you don't finish the dosages.
Yeah.
Well, what's the effect if you don't finish the dose? If you just.
You've got a lower level in your
Threshold?
system. And so the bacteria is able to, some of it will survive, and that has a higher resistance, and then it just grows up. That's why you see most of these problems in Mexico and places like that, supposedly, where you can buy it across the counter and they buy it and they don't use it all. I'm feeling better, I don't need
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, they advise you, finish your medication. And then I can remember a couple of times.
Which is hard to do on those 7-day,
Yeah.
thing that.
It's like, well, I'm feeling better, so I'm not gonna take it anymore. So we're waiting for 10.
I'm not sure what we're waiting for.
You were told to wait.
Well, I'll be honest, I think. They may get their act together for after lunch, but they're getting pretty close to. To missing the vote on
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So 8:30 is done then.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they totally missed the vote on 8:30 and getting even submitted.
Well, they certainly weren't good on this afternoon stuff.
It really is interesting. I mean, people don't show up.
Right, so, we still don't have anything, as far as affidavit wise. But, there is a possibility that they could turn one in for the afternoon, but we won't know until that time. So our suggestion is you have to be here at least in the morning docket, which is 10 o'clock would be 10:15. And then if we don't have anything, then the morning docket would be expired at that point, and then you could just go. And then if we do receive something, we'll just text you and then you can come in the afternoon. Otherwise, you have the afternoon off.
Okay, if they submit stuff, was it just gonna be by affidavit or were they gonna do any?
We don't know. Yeah, like I said, some of it has been turned in prior to, and it's not really in their common mode to not turn anything in. So we're a little perplexed, but it's not the first time that it happens.
And
All right.
so, and yeah, and then there's a 3 o'clock docket, so. Up until 3:15, we'd need you to be like on standby, I would text, and if so, then we'd need for you to come in. After 3:15, there wouldn't be any possibilities.
Yeah,
So just be, again, just in the area, I guess, just in the local area, like don't go to Victoria.
all right. And we can play by ear too, if we only get 3 or 4 for 1:30, if any come in, we can push it towards the end of the 1:30 docket and then just go into, be around for 3.
Right, if there's affidavit.
Yeah, well, all right, so we'll just hang loose.
Okay,
Yeah, so just as long as you would just still be here until 10:15, and then if Val will tell you we don't have anything, which is probably the case, then you can go, and then if you don't hear from us, then that's a good thing. You can have the rest of the day off.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
But
you.
if we don't hear anything after 3:15, it's done.
It does
Yeah.
for sure. Would you like Val to text you at a certain time to say we don't have anything? Would that help you?
Either
For
way,
what,
for me, it
one?
doesn't.
For 1:30?
Either way, I mean, she could do it, she'd be glad to do it for both. Meaning
Sure.
that it,
Well, it takes me about 20 minutes to get from Holiday Beach to here, so if I do go home, I need at least 20 minutes to get back from 1:30.
sure.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
If something, as soon as I had something in, I would text you and let you know.
okay.
So, if something came in at 11 for 1:30, I would text you at 11 and say.
No
hey.
big deal.
That'll work. Okay,
Thank
All right.
I might just hang around in Rockport.
okay.
That costs you money. You're gonna spend the money.
Yeah, all right.
And
I might pump in that some tax money and sales tax.
my best guess is we won't get any.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have to eat something, right, Jane?
Of course. Wonder, right? Was it open? Oh, no, it's Monday. They're not open on Monday.
Yeah, they were open.
Oops. What are we gonna eat in the car?
No, they have tables in
They
there.
got picnic tables.
Yeah.
That's true.
That doesn't work.
No, I'm not gonna sit out there, because there's not even a breeze today. Today it's like.
No, it's muggy. I came out of the house and thought this is a stupid thing to do.
To come out the house.
Yeah, well, wow.
I know what you mean.
I would probably opt to give them a day or two to get back. up
What
and
happened
running.
to him? No idea.
I don't,
Could be staff.
Sorry,
Who's that?
the Hoots Country Kitchen, that little place on the corner there. 1781 Rock or Rattlesnake Point. Because I don't know what they're doing, you know, food wise, you know, we talked about this, right? I mean, some of the stuff they could freeze.
Right.
Other stuff, not so much, and. You know. I'm waiting for them to get
The
there.
owner of Pier 77 had a heart attack Saturday night.
No.
Oh, no.
Is
No,
that
the
no?
young kid,
Mr. No?
the young kid.
No,
No, it's the older guy.
Oh, that's absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, if he ran at any place like he ran Nose, I mean, he was there at 4 in the morning or so to prep everything.
Mhm.
And he was still there at night until it closed.
So the guy who owned those was the son or?
That's, I don't know how they're related, but
I'm pretty sure they are related,
they are related.
because he was,
And he's
as I recall,
older.
he took Nose and he gave it to a relative, whether it was
Oh, okay, a son
or a nephew or something like that, so he kind of bowed out of day-to-day stuff at Nose while he was getting the other place going.
Wow, they've had some hardship, you know, they're fires.
Inspires to me are still, if you,
Oh,
it's happened.
Not two different places.
30, 45 days apart.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if they'd been next door, maybe, but
so I'm sure they're closed.
Mhm. They were closed all day yesterday.
But I think they close on Sunday, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they do, because I know we trying to find a place to eat one day.
no, they're open on Sunday.
They all,
Yeah, yeah, because I had some friends in a few weeks ago and we were looking for a place on Sunday to go.
so they're open, I know.
And they were open and we ended up at the Wild Farm because it's open on Sunday night too.
Are they open today, Wild Farm, because they were closed
they're
last week
closed on
because
Monday.
of
They're closed on Monday.
staff shortage. Here we go. But he's not on the docket, so,
They're all affidavits, so they won't be walking in.
yeah, he's coming in, maybe, hey, I don't know what's. Get the runaround.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So I believe after 10, you're gonna let Kathy know what's.
Yeah, I'll probably just tell her, don't worry about coming in and all, it's.
Tuesday through Sunday,
What?
Wild Farm. It's not open today. I think JJ's is open today.
Yes,
They're
he was
closed
open this
until-
morning.
Yeah, because they were closed on Wednesday.
You know, I hear nothing but negative things about the view.
Yeah.
Which I have not watched. I used to when Barbara Walters was on.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a
But it's like,
different
how in the
boat.
world are they staying on TV?
Well, there's a lot of things that you wonder why they still.
Well, it's true. The, like the Bachelorette.
Well, and the Kelly and what is it? Her thing, they're
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about dropping
Ron.
them too. That was
Yeah.
last night, I saw something on that they have not been getting good reviews.
The
They're only
only,
beyond so many years and then it becomes old.
oh, yeah. The only thing I like is, I like Good Morning America. I'll watch that for a while but I can't watch it the whole time. If they have a guest that I want to see, then I'll tape it and then run through it, but I tell you what, daytime television was sick.
Mhm.
God,
Yeah, but the best thing on is Law and Order.
right. And Jeopardy.
And Jeopardy, yes.
Looks like Naomi Jewett cut out her daughters in the wheel.
Really?
Now, yeah, and now Winona's gonna protest or contest.
Well, she's got enough money of her own. She needs to go.
Exactly, I agree. It was her mother's money. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know there was bad feelings with them.
There have always been, even when they sang together, that's. You didn't treat me right when I was a teenager. And this and the other.
She left it all to her husband. Oh, yeah.
I'm still. My butt is soft over the weekend.
What?
Butt is soft, shooting flies.
Oh, yeah.
I got. There was one collection, I got 5
Wow,
flies with one shot.
wow.
You're kidding.
All right.
Did they line up for you?
Well, they were all kind of clustered in this one little section in the bowl and I just. Nailed
Good shot.
them. Yeah.
So now the emphasis is on enlarging that number.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I didn't know you could do that.
Well, the scatter effect of the salt is interesting because. It's, and I got it. You know, when you can be a fair distance away, you know, probably 2-3 feet at least. If you get too close, it blows them away as opposed to.
Beating on
them. Yeah. But I think one of the things that happens is I haven't observed really closely, but I think in a lot of cases it gets their wings. So even though they're not dead,
They're fluttering around.
yeah, they still can't go anywhere because.
What is the Wordle?
I've never played it or really looked at it that much, but
I haven't either, but it's like a lot of people are
Yeah.
into, oh, I got it, you know. I don't need to get another game.
anything in the back there. pastry wise and donut wise.
Okay. Food wise.
Did you check the drawer out?
Well, I didn't go in this one, so I just went back and.
Sad, sad.
My son went fishing this week, last week, and caught some redfish and some speckled trout, and so he brought some over already clean, filleted. Oh, it was so good, I cooked that last night. And some crab cakes that I had.
Oh, wow.
So my daughter-in-law, my granddaughter's getting married, next November. And so she said, can you make crab cakes for her wedding? 250 people, and I'm like, whoa, I don't think so.
So I don't either.
Start freezing, she said. I'm like, dang. So we have to talk about this.
Number one, you can't freeze that far ahead. And number two,
Wow,
what, one or two, one per person, that's a lot.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
She's got to be, I'm gonna tell the guy, if she has a shower, I'll make her the shower, but not for 250 people. I am not in the catering business.
That's what the caterers do.
That's right. She loves your crab cakes, well. I do make good crab cakes though, because I don't use a lot of filler. Mostly crab, so.
I've never been good at crab cakes, but I am good at shrimp cakes.
That sounds
Where you
good.
just chop it and then just do exactly what you do with crab.
Really?
Mhm.
I never
And
thought
it's
of
cheaper.
that. I mean, it's only a pound,
I know.
what, 8, 9 ounces.
I did a piece with fresh crab and that puts it up. I said, we'll never do this again. It was expensive.
I always ask if it's fresh crab meat. I won't order crab cakes in the restaurant unless because it's imitation crab meat. That's.
Oh, no, they shouldn't even do, I mean, there are things I use it for. If I'm doing a crab salad, then.
It's good. Anyway, I'm
But, crab cakes, no, that's out of.
Yeah.
But the shrimp cakes. are good.
So you do it the same way?
What you do is you take the shrimp and you clean them and then you just chop them up. Not real fine, you know,
Yeah.
but in small little pieces and mix it in just like you do with all the.
You know what I think makes mine so good is I use Ritz crackers for the filler instead of breadcrumbs. Because it gives it of course you pound them, like breadcrumbs. And I think it's the buttery taste that you get with Ritz
I
crackers.
have I actually did somewhere along the line in my travels. San Antonio, it's my favorite place to go to get odd things. They actually have the Ritz crackers already pulverized.
Oh, really?
It's like,
So it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
like breadcrumbs.
Because there's a restaurant down in Riviera. I always have to think how to say it. It's not Riviera, it's Riviera.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
That has this thing they serve first, and it's actually just their regular sauce, remoulade kind of sauce.
Yeah.
And what they do for the dip or the go with the crackers when you first come is they mix Ritz crackers in with it. They pulverize it and then mix it in to make it thick, and then you wipe it on crackers.
That does sound good, yeah. Because I'm hungry,
Yeah, we're sitting here thinking, oh, okay, well, there's JJ's.
Yeah, we'll do that if you want to.
And then you can go on home or whatever, but I don't think you can make it all the way home without eating.
And there's nothing at home to eat. Well, we did have a couple of crab cakes and piece of fish, but I think Tom might have raided the refrigerator last night. He loves the crab cakes. And it's so, it's fun to make, because you catch And I catch my own crabs and boil them.
I love good crab cakes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's fun catching your own crab.
Yeah. I think he's going to, Aransas Pass, do some fishing with his son today, right off the dock. His son, takes care of this big boat, I guess the captain or whatever. And, so he's out there today. Have you been to, Blackbeard's too? In South Carolina?
Been a long
And he
time.
was like, oh,
In
no, I've been to Blackbeard one.
the one in North Beach, no, this is,
Yeah, and last time I was there, which was only a few months ago, it was not as good. And the place looked a little dirty, not just old, but dirty.
oh, it's been there a long time.
Yeah. How's the chew? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I've been there, it's pretty good. And then right next door is that little Flamingo Ranch, which is a little retail shop, dresses, purses, candles.
I haven't been to that one. I've been to the one down
In Portland.
in Portland.
Yeah. That was the first one,
The one in Portland drives me nuts because they have all this stuff piled up and they won't let you touch it.
oh, really?
Yeah, because they just get in these huge shipments of
Oh,
clothes
I see.
on the hangers and everything.
Oh, wow.
And, but you're not, they haven't gone through it yet.
The tea.
Come on, there it is, and it's right by the counter.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Did you see the article about the EV trucks? That's that they did, there was I don't remember the organization, but some fairly respected organization that's testing on vehicles. And they tested the F-150 EV version. It was a fairly high-end model. It was like $88,000.
Oh, my gosh.
They got pulling a trailer, their typical load, right? Trailer, running the air conditioner, they got 90 miles. 90 miles.
Exactly.
Out of a charge.
It probably wasn't a real heavy trailer, either.
No, I don't think it was.
That one that weighs out right at 10,000 loaded. My truck is about 4 to 5 miles per gallon when I'm pulling it.
Yeah, with my truck, but I stayed with 5,000 or less. Well, that was before I put anything in it, so we were a little higher now. But it got 10. It still gets 10 for if I'm towing. Which was about the same I got with the motorhome, so I figured I was doing okay. It was just easier to handle, and I didn't have to tow a car.
Friends of ours left on a trip a month or more ago. And they were going up in Northeast and over to Wisconsin, South Dakota and stuff like that. With motorhome, towing a truck or towing a car.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they said they were getting like maybe 6 miles a gallon. That's gotta be damn expensive with diesel being what it is now.
but the tanks on those are still.
Yeah. It's, I mean,
I'm wondering, is it their first motorhome or they've been doing it?
now they've been doing it for.
So they know about what, you only carry enough water to do you for that day.
I would think so.
Fill anything up.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah, I used to get 10 and 9. That was like, except I was going up mountain and then with 9. On the average, it was 10. That was okay. Gas was cheaper.
Yeah, right. Well,
It's come down.
yeah, it was 203, I think, on Easy Pay at the Pearl and Pikeville Point there.
Yeah.
203?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
303.
303.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Say,
we're all,
well,
can I be excused? please?
Yeah. We're gonna have hot dogs for lunch.
That's right.
They have good hot dogs. Gee. No.
4 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, look at- Way to run a business.
Excuse me. Has anybody been to that dockside bar and grill? It's new.
Dockside Bar and Grill?
Yeah, it's next to Paradise Key or.
Oh,
right
no,
on
I
that
haven't.
same road.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, burgers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's the Paradise Keys on the left side and they're kind of on the right.
Yeah, there's two of them. I don't think one is quite open yet.
Yeah. I haven't been there. And we just saw it. We were at Paradise Key a week or so ago and noticed it.
Oh, Shrimpy's is still there.
Yeah, they've got weird hours too now. I think they've had problems with
Who's that?
staff.
Shrimpy's. Shrimpy.
Oh, Shempy's.
Yeah, Shrimpy's. Shrimpy.
They have
They have great crab cakes.
Their hush puppies are the best. And I'm not,
You can tell we're in the oriented to food.
you can tell I'm hungry.
my wife usually gets like the chopped steak with gravy, mashed potatoes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
corn and stuff, and that's all. I get that from me. She gets it from me. But it seems like, because she goes to the game room down there, just down the road from there, and she likes to stop on the way back, and
Mhm.
but it's gotten where they've been closed so much, she hasn't been there for a while.
Most of the people they had working there were older women, so, and they've been there for years. I'm wondering if they just said that was enough.
I've never actually been in the place.
It's sort of a seafood shanty kind of, I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's
fancy.
nothing
And
fancy,
you're sort of crowded in there, which is not healthy at this point,
nothing
but they
fancy.
have really good food and it's consistent.
Yeah, I haven't been in Crab Inn for quite a while either. The last time we were there was after they remodeled and everything after the storm, and I don't know what they did, the acoustics was awful. It was just really noisy.
Did they raise the
I
ceiling?
didn't know, I couldn't tell, but and it didn't look like it was, it's not like a warehouse. I mean, this place, this Mexican place down the street here.
Like lost.
Yeah, Los Tamales,
Oh, they're
that
terrible.
place has always been
Wow.
loud, yeah.
Yeah, just because the ceiling's so high.
Yeah.
The Jalisco's they rebuilt is the same way. They took out the ceiling, so you have that extra height in there. And it's gotten fairly.
Oh, the one on the corner?
Yeah,
I haven't been there.
not the one in front of Walmart, the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It took them a while to open up.
Yeah, it sure did.
but they were doing it. The part of the problem is they couldn't find help, but another part of the problem was they moved into a truck and had their truck
I
parked
think they
down the
still have
way.
a truck though.
Do they really? Well, they were making as much money on that place.
Sure.
They were.
Yeah, I noticed this truck is still by the Stewart Title area.
Yeah. Oh, they,
Yeah.
Here comes the crew, I think they're gonna say it's all over but the crime.
We crying.
Righty.
Nothing, in the, for the accounts, but we did get, I just got handed 2 letters.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes.
And the lawn hill.
Okay.
Doesn't take much to excite.
To entertain us.
Put on the tablets under letters to.
Under which time, Ken?
Actually go,
No, go all the way out
No.
on the letters.
My glasses are not.
Which one is it?
I don't see
We're
them.
looking.
no.
Oh,
Vogel,
the account number,
yeah, Vogel is 20028.
This one here is 32680.
You can read that one from the board.
That's gonna be Gonzalez. You want me to read
Yeah,
it?
do it.
Oh, okay.
You don't mind?
No, okay, so. This is from Jorge and Elizabeth Gonzalez. It's a union. Attention ARB board members. To whom it may concern, it's dated August the 4th, and we received it this morning. To whom it may concern. My name is Jorge Gonzalez and my wife is Elizabeth Gonzalez. We are from Seguin, Texas, where we raised our 3 sons. I have taken my family on vacation to Rockport since my sons were toddlers. As a family, we fell in love with this place. It became my dream to buy a small lot and build a humble home for my wife and me. Preparing for this next chapter of our story has had its challenges, and we missed the tax appraisal contest due date this year because we were distracted by several conflicts in our lives. In 2020, we were fortunate to come across 720 Gagon, am I saying that right? Street. This sliver of land was perfect for us. So we made the investment and started working with the contractor. The contractor we initially hired scammed us for over $60,000. He turned my dream into a nightmare, which I will spare you the details and briefly explain. The contractor's fraudulent and faulty business practices resulted in us tearing down all the progress on the house and starting all over from square one. In 2021, we tried to make our case with the contractor's business insurance, the Texas Department of Insurance, and Small Claims Court in an attempt to recover any amount we could. The stress of that situation was overwhelming and consumed much of our time, energy, and efforts. So we decided to leave it in God's hands. We are so blessed to have found a reputable second contractor who was able to come up with a plan to correct the faulty work and finish our home by April 2022. Meanwhile, we were happy to become grandparents again in January 2022, when my youngest son and his wife had their first baby. In March, they quickly had to move out of their house for significant foundation repairs, so we took them in. The transition was hectic, but everything worked out because they sold their home after it was fixed and decided to live with us in Seguin for the unforeseeable future. Once our home was complete, we began moving our things to Rockport while they moved their stuff into Seguin. My son is my namesake, which can cause our mail to get mixed up. Losing track of correspondence occurred even more once they updated their address and we had to swipe several pieces of mail. Swap several pieces of mail. I've looked for the property 2022 tax appraisal notice, but never saw it. We developed an organized mail sorting system and haven't lost any critical posts since. Last week, we received a postcard in our Seguin mailbox from Aransas County about an online portal. We followed instructions to view our taxes online, and I saw the house appraised much higher than I anticipated. We called the appraisal office and spoke with a friendly woman who advised us to write this letter in hopes our contest would be considered this year. I am an honest, hardworking welder based in Sabine. While my wife works out of her home office at a high-stress environment job on an understaffed team coding medical records for insurance compensation. We had to postpone our retirement to compensate for the loss of money we never recovered from our Rockport retirement home. We visit Rockport every opportunity we can, but we haven't been as often as we wanted due to our work responsibilities and schedules. We hope you will consider allowing us to present a case to contest our 2020 tax appraisal, as it was not out of negligence, laziness, or lack of consideration that we missed our deadline. We have been under a lot of pressure to recover from the financial hit we took from the fraudulent contractor, get through the tear down and rebuild the house, and be a financial refuge for my son's young family. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Jorge Gonzalez, Elizabeth Gonzalez, dated 8/4/2022.
So it sounds like the first indication that they kind of looked at was a postcard, which were recently sent out, it's the truth in taxation postcard that was sent to everybody. Although this is a long and insightful thing into their life, in the district's opinion, does not constitute good cause, does not.
I agree.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree.
Do we need a
I
motion?
agree.
We need a motion. Okay, in reference to account number 32680, it's of the opinion of the ARB that this letter does not constitute good cause for a late protest.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay,
All righty, and the next one would be case ID account number 20028. Dated 8/3/2022, received 8/8/2022. To whom it may concern. My name is John Vogel, and I had a hearing on July 20th at 8:30 to protest my appraisal on my home at 1304 8th Street, Rockport, Texas, 78382. I was unable to attend the meeting as I had an unavoidable emergency arise on the evening 7/19/2022. I ask that you please reschedule my hearing, and I will be there. Thank you very much for your consideration. John Vogel.
In looking at this, district's opinion is twofold. One, the unavoidable emergency is not specific. But secondly, we're talking July 20th. That's what, 3 weeks ago at this point? It was received today.
Yeah. Dated 8/3.
That you can write a letter to investigate the unavoidable emergency. But it still leaves the question of why 3 weeks later. Maybe, if the unavoidable emergency was precipitated on that day and they can show that they've been incapacitated in some form up till now, that might be justifiable good cause. But without an explanation, it's the district's opinion that we should not, the ARB should not grant this without more information.
agree.
Okay, so,
You guys,
I agree with that. Yeah, we don't know what the emergency was, and it's kind of cryptic, so we don't know what where it was.
I think if you were to write a letter, you would write 2 questions. One, what was the unavoidable emergency? Please be very specific. And then secondly, you know, what transpired between July 20th and the letter dated August 8th.
I'm okay with writing a follow-up letter. The other, and I don't know if we need to point this out, at this stage of the game, well, so the question is, if we were to grant a late hearing, since he had one scheduled for
The 19th,
the 20th,
I mean, the 20th.
would that be a late hearing, a late regular hearing, or would it be a 25
Val,
I'm sorry, I was still reading about where it does say
the 4
not
days.
later than the 4th day after the date the hearing
Yeah,
occurred.
it's already past the 4 days, so.
So then that would put it in the ballgame of a 25 D if we were to grant.
Can you read that out loud, Val?
Yes, so, E1
Each one of section code what?
of section 41.45.
Okay, just read the whole thing.
A property owner or a person designated by the property owner as the owner's agent to represent the owner at the hearing who fails to appear at the hearing is entitled to a new hearing if the property owner or the owner's agent files, not later than the 4th day after the date the hearing occurred, a written statement with the appraisal review board showing good cause for the failure to appear and requesting a new hearing. And then it goes on to on E2 to say what good cause means.
So really, yeah, the first test is the 4 days, and then the second test is good cause. So they don't meet the first test. We might just respond that their only remedy is the 25. You can check with Judy. I mean, yeah, Judy Parker. You can check with Judy. Or you can just write the letter.
I'll write the letter, you know, I'll chat with you just to be quick. We okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Do we need a thing on that or?
You need a motion.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like, just articulate what the chairman's gonna do.
It's the AR, I'll make a motion that the ARB, write a letter. And request more information about this emergency, so we can be clear as to whether or not this is just cause to grant a late hearing.
And the date, the lateness of the letter.
Well, and then in reading that section of the code, it wouldn't even be that. Is that the way you're in it?
That's, yeah,
That they're already past the 4 days, so you can't even consider the just cause or good cause. And therefore, and I'm not. You
yeah,
can
no,
do whatever
I
you
get what
want.
you're saying. Right,
Yeah.
that's fine, yeah.
So do I need to amend or change the motion or?
Yeah, because
Okay, what it's ARB's opinion that the chairman write a letter to the owner according to Texas Property Code 41.45,
that they've already, that the
that they've
4 days
already, the 4 days after the late protest is request. And he has passed, and the chairman will help me out here,
give an option.
give an option for
The 25.
25
D,
the protest or contest.
or just inform them
Inform them.
of that, that's their,
Are they on?
Is that clear? Yes, they're in Seguin.
no, this.
The other-
Oh, I'm sorry, no. They're here, yeah. As far as I can tell. He
Well,
says his address is
oh, my
13,
home.
yeah, my home at 1304 Gates Street.
Val, can we double check that and just see what, and whether it's homesteaded, which nobody.
It is not homesteaded. Their mailing address is in Freeport, Texas.
Oh,
I'll just, I mean, that'll be part of.
so did you get that
Description.
motion?
So do you need a second on that?
Yeah.
Are we done adding to it or?
Yeah.
Are we done?
I think, and I will follow up with. informing you what-
Follow up with the attorney and inform the owner and let us know.
Yes.
Okay, so do we need a second?
Yes.
Wait a second. Okay, so we got a second, and Ron, and all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay,
I have a question then in regard to, say like the letter we read before that. Are we going to want to start putting the 2525D language in for somebody who filed a late protest?
I think if, in this case, since it's ambiguous about the good cause,
Mhm.
if it were obviously not good cause, then I don't think there's anything, I don't think we need to go into any specifics.
Okay, gotcha.
In this case, it's ambiguous on what good cause, whether there might be good cause, which we'll articulate, see if we can get an articulation from the person here. And if they don't provide good cause, then the 2525D isn't an issue in that case. So
Okay.
Okay.
Well, nothing came in, like I said, on the affidavits, so, we'll be done for the day, but we'll be on kind of like standby.
yes,
Okay,
thanks, Mike.
thanks.
Do we need to adjourn or how do y'all want to do this?
Let's yeah, let's go ahead and adjourn
Mhm,
because we may not end up coming back.
mhm.
And then if we have to, we'll reopen the hearing.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Anybody opposed?
No.
Okay, so we are adjourned
All right.
and.
Yeah, let me just put it back. Okay.
And we'll just go here, and I'll just go here.